Hi all. I go by Lettuce on Steam. I make weapons, well, mechanisms in general, but weapons usually more often than not. And here I'm just showing off a weapon I just finished. This is a 5 by 5 by 5 block mass accelerated cannon. It basically just welds and launches three a 3 cube payload. I'll just show you what that does real quick. I'll try to make this as quick as possible. Let's get a reactor right there. And you see when the reactor's on, boom, we have our payload. That's all it is, just something for some kinetic damage, some explosion damage, and a mass cube. Sorry, a space ball, because mass cubes require power, and there's no power on that payload. Got to keep it as minimal as possible, so let's reload. And let's fire. So this does happen sometimes. Sometimes the kinetic damage just goes through and the explosion doesn't, but this is all heavy blocks. This was 5 blocks of only 5 layers of heavy blocks that it just went through. That was just one shot. Now to show you what kind of rapid fire capabilities this thing has, I also just randomly built a ship that's not very practical, just around the gun. So the whole front of the ship is that gun. So if we look here, let's get in, let's activate it. 4 and 5 are to reload and fire respectively. So I hit 4 and it's reloaded. You see how quick that is. And I'm just going to do some rapid fires here. I mean, if you're decent at, guessing target leads, it shouldn't be a problem. It's not too hard to do. So yeah, very effective weapon. If you can land a hit, I guess. Obviously not nearly as versatile as a turret for like when you're in motion, but pretty good way to do a decent amount of damage to your opponents if your ship can fit something this large. Again, it's a 5. Let me stop this from moving away. It's a 5 by 5 by 5 grid, 5 cubed, so 125 blocks total. But you could, fasten this to anything, any ship that can fit it, and should be good to go. The script I'm using is Easy Automation 2. You don't actually need it for this to work, but I find that without Easy Automation 2, sometimes when launching, the entire back of this platform, I guess you would call it, gets ripped out because the merge block, just the forces from it don't end in time for the forces from the gravity generators that apply to the space ball. They might like sometimes interact with this little subgrid first and then rip it back out. So that's why that's in there. I would keep it in. And what this timer block does, in case anyone's curious, is it turns off the gravity generators once the payload has cleared the weapon, mouth, nozzle, whatever. I think you guys get what I mean. So yeah, that's that.